we are excited to have her. So we'll be back. We're going to take this commercial break and have this amazing woman of God up. And then we're here to see exactly what she got to say, because she got some wisdom, and I'm ready for it. Yeah. We are back. Look who's on our stage. Yes. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here, to sit in the company of the three of you in this beautiful set. All the glitz and the glitter.
Yes.
You,
We got to have some sparkle in our
I'm
mama.
in good company.
Listen, I call her Mama Tony. That's what I always call her. You guys might have known who she is. In fact, I'm going to let her tell you what you saw her at. Of course, she is a celebrity. I call her celebrity actress, of course. Amazing woman. But tell the people who you are.
Well, let me tell you first, when you say that, it makes me think of what my grandmother said to me a long time ago. Anytime in her broken English, she said, "You got to tell folks who you is. You ain't much."
Oh, don't tell me. Don't worry. Let them Google her.
No, really, I don't mind, helping to get closer to those in the audience. But that is something that she said. And every time somebody says that to me, it makes me think back to that. So, oh, you ain't much. Because if you walk in the room, if you're really there, you know that's Oprah. You're really there, you know that's Regina. Different people.
And I'll say this to you, Mom. Let me tell you what they probably didn't tell you. So last weekend, of course, you did the photo shoot with us.
Yeah.
And I think some ladies in the audience will say this. And Dr. Faye, I don't think you was up there. When you got out the car, it was a silence for a split second, wasn't it? And we was like, oh, she is gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody just kind of like, ooh. It's like you came up there like a stallion. She was just crazy. She did. It was a beautiful, epic moment for all the ladies to, and it wasn't even no hateration. It was just like, everybody was just like, oh my God.
I felt a lot of love.
It was amazing.
And because I love people.
Yes, you
and
do.
Seeing the beautiful ladies on the steps there in all the pink, it was just, I wanted to join the group right away.
And you came in right. Everybody started moving out the way, like, come on up here. She floated. It was just amazing. So anyway, okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna let her talk.
Well, I've spent the last 48 years of my life teaching in higher education. So at Jackson State University, 20 years, Alabama State University, 28 years. And now I'm doing other things. But at the same time, simultaneously, as a professor, and then becoming the chair of the department, and then the dean at Alabama State.
Wow.
The first dean for the College of Visual and Performing Arts. It was an amazing journey, but it was a double journey, double career as a professional actress, as a museum director, and as a motivational speaker. So, and as a mother and a wife, I was wearing a lot of hats, and a caregiver for members of my family. So, nursing them, trying to get them back to health, and some of them, we lost because they were older, and it was their time. But love was always around me at the job, at work, at the university, on the set. I feel really, really blessed. I had a chance to work with many giants.
Yes, you have.
Many, many giants, from Cicely Tyson to Carol O'Connor to Della Reese to B. Richards, Frank Silvera. The list goes on and on and on. And I feel doubly blessed with Walker, Texas Ranger, with Andy Griffith. I mean, I work with all of these people and have a chance to have a hand in sports, working with my students, with Walter Payton, Eddie Payton. These were my students. And then my colleagues at Jackson State, we had the largest draft when I was in school.
Okay.
Any other HBCU.
All right, HBCU.
but now retired from the higher education circuit in education, but not retired from life.
Wow.
My goal is to continue doing what I've been doing. I work with children from early age of 6 all the way up to graduating from college. And working with those children, I always felt like I was a vessel.
Wow.
I felt like God had directed me to be and to do what I was doing. And in doing so, I remember trying to go in my own direction. Oh, I wanted to be a medical doctor. I had fun in the sciences. I had scholarships to college. And my scholarship to Jackson State was in biology.
Wow.
And that's how I ended up there. But I had scholarships also to other universities in music to sing, and now that's gone.
Okay.
But then at other schools to act, to be on the debate team. I was doing a lot of things, but it was God's direction that sort of took me into this acting, this field, because all the time growing up as a child in church, I was in everything, plays. I had my little Easter speech, making all the little presentations
Yes.
with the Baptist Student Union, Baptist Training Union. I was a part of it. My mother was the director of the choir, and she was a teacher. And my father was an electrician and a plumber. My father had less than first grade education, so he really couldn't read or write. But my mother was an elementary school teacher, so she tried to teach him to do that. But my father was so gifted that he put our first computer up. He put it together and didn't know anything about what A and B was.
Wow.
But he was able to do it. And he was known as the best electrician, mechanic, plumber in our community. All of the nice houses built by the wealthy real estate whites in our community in the Delta of Greenwood, Mississippi, they called on Buddy Harris. That was my daddy. And my mother, she worked so hard to make sure that my sister and I would be focused on education. And that we grew up understanding that God was in us, with us, around us, and that he would always lead us, and he would always hear us, and he would always know us, and he knew us better than we knew ourselves. So we knew how to trust and have faith and have belief in him. So my sister is a little older than me, and so she being the big sister, she started playing the piano and singing in church, and I was the oratorical one. I was the one speaking all the time.
Wow.
And so when I got to college in biology, the next thing I knew, I was in Mr. Fisher's class. He called me in his office one day. He said, "I've been waiting on you." And I said, I was crying because I was in the lab and my professor had us to dissect a raccoon.
Right.
And I never cared for real hairy little animals. So when I looked at the eyes of that raccoon laying there and opened up, I said, I backed out of the room, and he said, "And I want you all," and he said, "Young lady," I was backing out. In the hallway. And he came out and asked me, "What in the world is wrong with you?" And I said, "I gotta go and see my speech teacher. He called for me." And I made it to
She
class.
went out.
I did. I chicken out.
I have to ask you this question. Was there ever a time where you wanted to give up? Like walk away from acting? And guys, she was on it was a girls trip too. When I saw, I said, Mama, that was a
lot of fun. Working with Queen Latifah.
She's amazing.
And Tiffany Haddish, it was just beautiful. They were really kind to me because really, that's one show that I didn't really have to audition for. They just called me and said, "We want you to do this part." And when I made it to the airport in New Orleans, I was amazed because I'm used to, accustomed to a person waiting with a placard, with your name to pick you up. And so I didn't see anybody. And so I called the office. I said, "I don't see anybody." She said, "Don't you see this big black, it's a Mercedes truck?" And I had not seen one of those. They were just coming out at that time. Those big ones.
Yes.
And
Thomas Brown.
I don't know what you call them.
Okay.
Okay, but they're big and they hold a lot of people.
This brother.
Okay.
Sorry, it's bad for me.
And I'll look around and see if you see it, and you'll see somebody waving at you, and it was Queen Latifah. She said, "Come on here, girl."
Oh.
I tell you, it was beautiful, and that experience I'll never forget. But did I ever give up? To be honest with you, it was very hard for me at 16 when my mother died.
Okay.
And it was sudden.
Wow.
And I really did give up. I really wanted to just go and be with my mother. I wanted to go wherever she was. I didn't want to be left alone. I could not understand her being taken from me. But when I fell to my knees, I do remember feeling a warmth around me.
Wow.
And leading me to stand up and hold my head up. And I found myself making promises and vows to my mother, talking to her. And then I found out later that warmth was nothing more than God's love.
Jesus.
That he was embracing me, and he was telling me that he was going to show me that he would take care of me. Because I don't remember a lot from that time. My friends, we try to get together, my schoolmates, at the end of every month. We're now going into our 60th year from high school. So, but we still call each other, and we have a Zoom call. And I've missed the last two because I've been traveling a bit. But at the end of every month, we have that Zoom call. And some of them reminded me of what I was like at the time that I lost my mother. They said I was so angry. And they said, even at the funeral, I stood up and said, "What are you looking at? Why are you looking? Why are you staring? Go away and leave us alone." It was just, I guess, a bitterness. And I don't even remember that. I don't remember any of that. I just remember losing my mother. And then I gained a strength. Not long. It didn't take me long because I found myself making pledges to God, making promises to my mother, and making pledges to myself. Mother, you brought me in this world pure, and I will graduate from high school pure. I will keep my mind focused just like you taught me. I will believe that I have everything that I need. But then I'm talking to you, and I want you to hear me because I know you're listening, and I know you're around. And I would say those kinds of prayers and chants to myself and to my mother. And then I would always go and look out to the stars. And I would end my nights saying amen to God. And then I could go to bed. And I could get up the next day. And then I found myself, even at church, getting more involved in leadership with the younger children. So my mother being an elementary school teacher for 19 years, and her love for children passed on to my sister and myself. We've done the same thing. We love children. No matter, even though I was working at a university, my full-time job, I always started a children's program. In Mississippi, it was the Eye of the Tiger. We performed for children in the parks. The city supplied lunches for other children, and we got on a flatbed truck, and we would perform. And then we dressed them up in the glitz and glitter of their little costumes and little hats, and they marched in the parades. So by the time I left Jackson, Mississippi, we had about 80 children in that summer program, and in the program year-round. It was a year-round program. When I made it here to Alabama State University, after the first year, I started TAPS. And after TAPS, from ages 6 to 12, then age 13, Camp 3T, where we moved in the dorm, and we ministered to the children at night. And we always have a night of breakthrough and prayer. And those students, they really felt something. They really understood that God was not a mystery, that he was a miracle maker. Wow. They understood that he was not someone in the past, that he was ever present. Wow. So after that, we started another group called Camp Gifted. And then I had another camp called the Adult Repertory Performing Camp, RPAC, Adult Repertory Performing Arts Camp. So we had adults in camp. Wow. And then we had a technical theater camp. At Alabama State, there were 5 camps. And at Alabama State University, I shared with my students the American Theater being that I was taught by Frank Silvera. He he's known as a man of many faces. And Frank Severo, you may know from High Chaparral, from the Magnificent Seven. He looks like he's Asian or Mexican, or he could play any nationality, but he was an African American man.
Wow.
And people thought he passed, but he looked so good that any role he played, he found a way to become. And he taught that to me. I was his last student before he died. And actress B. Riches was his first. So now, that's what I'm working on. I'm working on getting his word out, his message out, his legacy out. His family has given me full authority to carry on the American field of being. And actress B. Riches' family has given me full authority to be in charge of all of her artifacts and her material, and to keep their legacy alive. So my work with museums now is married into this kind of work, with getting their names out and into museums. And I'm also really concerned about one more thing I'm trying to do, and that is to make a way for young people today, to let them know that they don't need to keep fighting and killing and gang banging each other, that they need to find the God in them, and to understand that godliness is a gift in them. It's called an innate talent, a God-given talent, and we need to help them find that. So I proposed to the state of Alabama that we would initiate arts and entertainment as a part of the workforce. In other words, while we're training people to be butchers, we're training people to be truck drivers, we're training people to be anything else, but not acknowledging talented ones like you. If someone had just stopped early on to say, pay for her training, give her that head start, your story would have been a little different. Your appreciation would be even more, because you would have the stamp of the government, the state, the legislators, and all on you say, we appreciate and acknowledge your talent. If none of the politicians in office today would be there and be known if it were not for talented artists making their billboards, making their jingles, making their promotions and their publicity packages. It's art that's doing that. And even people testifying, some of them don't even know them, they're even speaking because they're artists and they know how to take on that role and be like Frank Severo taught us to be. So I'm saying now I'm hoping that together we'll be able to start this kind of training and get the government to pay for the training, to bring folk, instead of when a movie comes to Alabama, our folk won't stand around and just wait to be an extra and just having their jaw drop. Say, oh, that's that star. Ooh, you are a star too.
And I remember when Oprah came here, Long Walk Home. I don't remember who else here, but she filmed on Cobb Street. It was off of Mildred Street.
You mean Whoopi?
Whoopi Goldberg, sorry.
Yeah.
Whoopi Goldberg, thank you for correcting me. Whoopi Goldberg, she came, and well, I think Oprah didn't come with her. I guess she didn't come with her. Okay, and so what's the Long Walk Home? Long Walk Home, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and we were so busy trying to be an extra, just like what you just said. We were trying to get the manual because the confidence with it. We didn't have a Dr. TONEA Stewart to say you can get this role.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We just would be like she said. It was a movie star. We were like, oh my God. We followed her. I know I did. I followed her around the whole downtown. I was just following her everywhere. And it's so funny because the street that the house that she did the actual movie with the big house with the white people. Actually, my parents lived 4 doors down.
Wow.
We ended up moving to that neighborhood like 5 years later. But what am I saying? Possibilities.
Yes.
Opportunities timing is everything. And also having skilled, experienced people like you and others who have such a love to bring a difference to our community. That's what it's about.
That's what it's about. And that's what we should all be about. And that's what you do.
I love it.
Thank you for helping her with that. Because recognizing the women that you recognizing this year, at this banquet coming up in September 20th, you didn't have to do that.
Wow.
And
actually I did, because she was getting on my nerves. Because I wasn't even, very honest, I wasn't gonna do it. And we've done it around the world. And she looked at me, we need to go, huh? I'm like, Montgomery might not receive this because, you know, when I do, and I've been doing events here, what you know, came is one of my events at BMW, but when I do it, I do it.
Yeah.
You know, and then Montgomery, you know, used to be, because I'm like in Delta Delta, a very fickle city where you might get 10 tickets.
Wow.
You might get 30 people to buy tickets. You know, the honorees are coming, don't tell nobody they get an honor. And even now, I literally had to pull up to some people's houses and say, can you fill your form out? Because people they're not used to being honored. And some of them don't want to be honored because, and I'm not knocking people who say no, but let us self-esteem. They don't want the spotlight on them, but you worked your butt off.
Yeah.
So when they came to me about doing it, I said, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna give it a try, but we gonna see what's gonna happen. And all of a sudden, Tracy Larkins, I had a dream, and he told me, Mama Tummy, he said, you're gonna be a pillar to this city.
Wow.
I remember this, like 10 years ago. He said, you gotta believe.
Okay.
He said, you got so much to offer the city. He said, but when you believe, that's when things will change the way you feel about your city.
That's being.
You're right.
Yeah, that's being. Yeah. When you be, you understand that you exist.
I exist
in a complete and perfect state, lacking no essential characteristics. You are complete and perfect. God made you the way you are. He gave you an assignment. He points you in the direction. It depends on whether you listen and hear to it and move in that direction. And you have to believe, not just believe in him.
Come on. Wow.
Believe him.
Believe him.
Yes. Believe
this
him.
Is it. And so as I was leaving, guys, I gotta tell y'all this. As I was leaving the photo shoot, I looked back at the Capitol. We was dropping you off and you off because you left early. And I looked back and I saw 300-400 people in pink. And I kept looking hard to cry. And it was nothing but women. God said, get that done. That's what I need you to do right there.
It's the time.
Learn to get that done. Collaboration. You cannot do it by yourself. Right. And that has been the problem in this city. We got to learn how to give.
And share.
And
work together. And unite as one.
And that's all he showed me.
And not let that circle be broken.
Yes.
Not break that circle. Our ancestors did it. Our parents did it. Generations behind us, they did it. They heard Sojourner Truth. They heard Harriet Tubman. They heard Mary McLeod Bethune. They heard Mary Church Terrell. They heard them. But we are allowing them to be forgotten.
Come on now.
And we have got to raise that bar up, join hands together, and not deal with this classicism of I am that I am and thee that I am that. Wear your glitter.
Yes.
I came in my natural self. Be who you are.
Yes, you gotta be like that.
Feed the world with love.
That's all he showed us.
And that's all we've had to God. He gives us none of us can give more than what he's got. If we tried to write down or even publish a book to tell his contributions to us, we wouldn't have enough pages or enough words or enough ink or enough power, because we can't cover. He's done some things we can't even identify. And he is forgotten on purpose. My God. But it's left up to us.
It is. And that's, I went home and I told my husband, I said, it's a mandate on my life. I gotta get this done. I don't have a choice. But, I made a phone call to the people that at the Capitol just this morning, Shalita. And she said, whatever you need. She said, whatever you need. She said, in fact, I need to go find me a pink outfit because I'm going to be there on that Capitol with y'all.
Beautiful.
And God said, pick certain ones to speak. Pick certain ones. Your Dr. Tammy McCurry's and your Mama Tommie's and, those who have paved the way for us. Baby, listen, this ain't about Dr. Nikki at all. I'm just a vessel that's going to bring, I'm good at collaborating, baby. And I don't mind pivoting. And when you learn how to say it ain't about me,
yes,
that's when God will open up doors for you, and I'm ready.
That's it.
So you get this presidential award.
Yeah, how nice.
September 20th, because you don't mind rolling up your sleeve and persevering. That's what I see. When I see you, I'm like, persevere.
I love it.
Elegant woman of God.
I love serving my Lord.
I believe that.
I really do. I mean, every day, every way, every walk, every talk. That's my purpose. And we do it in different ways. Some people do it in medicine. Some people do it in music.
I like that.
Some people do it in business.
Yes.
And the thing is, we cannot allow those who are looking at us and frowning on us and trying to condemn us and pull us down. Don't allow them to get under your skin.
And they did. That's what happened to me.
Oh, I know. I've been there.
Yeah. 2022, I got delivered from people. I got delivered from people. I was so big on people. I don't know how she feels. But God said, be pleasing in me. And I'll fix all that. Don't worry about people. You do what you got to do in me. Ask my permission. Do what I need you to do. And I'll fix the rest. And so now when I walk around in this city, and I love my city. I couldn't say I loved it 5 years ago. But I love my city. Now when I walk around, y'all, it's like, hey, y'all. The love has been overwhelming for me.
That's beautiful.
That's why I'm here. I can't worry about who's not going to be there. I got to show up, Faye. Shalita, you got to show up. Because your life depends. When you have a man in your life to bring women together, you got to show up like never before. You can't worry about who ain't going to come.
And we're here at this time for a reason.
Yes, ma'am.
You see it's happening nationally.
So, that's something so convenient. Right on time. So we thank you for coming on the show. Shalita, you want to say something, Faye? Y'all just quiet. Y'all we vibe.
We were just in the conversation, and you're a phenomenal woman.
Yes, she is.
I adore you, Dr. TONEA Stewart. I appreciate the work that you've done with the children here in Montgomery through the TAPS program, and through education. Your work on the screen. I love my favorite movie is A Time to Kill. Yes, ma'am.
Well, let me tell you something. It's amazing. When we lost our dear friend, my student Twitch.
Oh wow!
That was a time that I did a deep thinking because I had two other students to die right around the same time, very close to my heart. Montreal Williams and Charles Patton. And then Twitch, I said, oh my God. It was hard. Stephen Boss loved him. We were on the Today Show together a couple of months before this happened. Never had a sign of anything like that. But let me show you how God works. My daughter kept telling me, she said, Mama, come on, you gotta snap out of this. Mama, come on. She'd come every week, and then she's a speech pathologist. She's now Mrs. Alicia Stewart Cook. I'm so proud of her. And my two sons, my youngest son is in California, and he works with a major artist as his editor. And you all see Steve Harvey all the time, so my son works under there with him. And my oldest son is in Atlanta, and he's an entrepreneur. And he's also an executive in the computer business. I'm really proud of their success stories. But they were really worried about their mother. And my husband, he said, y'all better talk to your mother, because I don't understand this depression she's trying to go into. I said, it just hurt me. It just hurt me. I just said, I'm just hurting. So all of a sudden, I got this email. And this young lady had written something to try to find me And my daughter-in-law, who's in California, had put something. She's always putting something on on Facebook. So this young lady thought she wrote to her. She said, "Are you from Alabama? Are you the drama lady from Alabama?" And my daughter-in-law wrote her back and said, "Oh no, you don't mean me. You mean my mother-in-law." Turns out this young lady's mother, in June of 22, passed away of cancer.
Mm.
Before passing, she said, "I want you to find that lady, and I want you to, I have this men's clothing store, and you know that store is doing well, but whatever is left in the store, I want you to get it to her so that she can help young men, because she loved young men in the arts and students, and I know she'll make a way for somebody." That girl found me in 23, June of 23, and wrote this to me, and I didn't know. I said, "Oh my God, is this real?" So when I talked with her, she said, "It's real." She said, "I'm following my mother's wishes." She said, "And you can't tell me no. I need you to see what I have, and I'm not asking you for anything. I just want you to fulfill my mother's wishes."
My God.
So she gave me 150 suits, brand new, sizes 30 to 60, slacks 150, jackets 150, neckties, belts 100. I mean, to give in some way and encourage young people. This lifted me up. My daughter said, "Mama, look at God.
Mm.
You were worried about your students. He's giving you a chance to embrace another 150.
Come on now.
Then Miss Sue Tang with Tang's Alteration,
Yes.
I was talking to her
That's a
about this.
girl.
She called me and she said, "Come down to the store. I don't have suits for men, but I have gowns. I have 100 evening gowns. Come and get them. And you bless the girls the same way. Just like the boys have to go, the girls have to get dressed too." So I came up with this idea of suited for success.
Mm.
Artists suited for success. So I've written writing to churches, to counselors, to principals, to presidents of colleges, young people who are about to go out in the world and you know they need a suit. Because they've been wearing the baggy pants and they're wearing all this fad stuff. But when it comes to corporate America, they gotta walk in there and look the part.
Look my money. That's
So
right.
if they're going to try for audition or wherever they're going, they can, with your recommendation and your word, they'll get this suit and they'll get a little card with a passage from the Bible that says God is always with you.
I love
Never doubt.
y'all. Come on, clap it out for me. This will be amazing. Dr. Tommy Stewart has graced the stage at the Convo.
Thank you.
This is a little professional actress.
I'm working with you as much as I can.
I'm here for it, Mama. You know I got your back.
All right.
Come on, Takima, break us in. We got some more guests coming in. Hey, we're back. I'm excited to be back. Listen, wasn't that an awesome interview, guys? Listen, let's go ahead and we got a live audience. Y'all get these stuff. Our live audience. It ain't that many, but guess what? It's a start. Listen, don't never despise small beginnings, okay? I'm excited. Listen, come on here. Dr. Joyce Lloyd Davis. This is my girl, y'all, from the Alabama State University. So tell us who you are.
So I am Joyce Lloyd Davis, and I am a family practice nurse practitioner, doctorally prepared here in the city. Our clinic is on the campus of Alabama State University, where we service the students and some employees as well. At the university, I have been practicing medicine for a little over 15 years and been in healthcare for now well over 25 years. I graduated from Tuskegee University in 1996, so whatever that math is, I've been practicing since then. And I'm just, honored and humbled to be here talking to you phenomenal ladies tonight, because I think that having these conversations is necessary in the community. It's thought-provoking, it is involving, it's collaborating.
Yes.
All of those things that you guys want to achieve and that I think are so paramount in our community. And I just want to say, Dr. TAMMIE Stewart, that was phenomenal. I feel like between Dr. Stewart and you guys have preached a sermon.
Oh my God.
So I don't know what else is left for me to say.
You have so much to say, because I feel like you have done so much for this community. So many times where I've seen you passing by, I'm like, you come into a room and I'm like, okay, who is that? You got that air about you where you come into a room and you command that room. And what I love about you, the reason why I chose you to be a presidential nominee is because I've seen you give back to so many people, and you always pulling people with you.
Now that is I'm glad you said that. Now there's something that I can be proud of. That's my life motto.
Yep.
I believe that each of us should just help somebody along the way. Help somebody on your journey, because I ain't always been where I am.
Come on now.
And because I know I haven't been, I know there are people who came before me that paved the way for me. And so I feel like it is a fiduciary duty for me to want to pave the way for someone else. I'm always going to reach back and pull someone else along, show them the journey, show them the path, or make their path a little lighter, make it easier. We've all bumbled and made mistakes along the way in life. So if I can save someone else a little time, or save them from falling into some of the same pitfalls, or make their journey easier, that's what God put us here to do, is to be able to help one another, each other. And so not everyone understands that, not everyone gets that concept, but it's near and dear to me.
Oh, you can tell.
All the days that I have left on this earth, I'm going to help someone else.
Wow.
Because God's been good to me.
Oh,
I
girl,
tell people all the time
Amen.
that He's been so good to me, because, and I can quantify and qualify good. And for me, what that means is my good days have very, very much outweighed my bad days. And even when I look back on my life and think that I had bad days, and I look at what's happening in the world, and I talk to my patients and things that are going on, them bad days I thought I had, they weren't bad. So I just know that God is good, and to whom much is given,
much is required.
I understand that, and so I'm just going to do my part in the community. And you said something, Dr. Nikki, earlier that kind of stuck with me. And sometimes this is a tough community.
Yeah.
Sometimes we are critical on each other, and sometimes it's hard in your hometown to be able to embrace success, and for the people that grew up with you, people who've seen you grow, people right there in your community that you want to embrace the success and be a part of it. It's sometimes hard to do that, and for a plethora of reasons that may be hard, but that doesn't mean you stop doing what you do.
Well, I always take you guys to scripture. Jesus, he wasn't received. So I had to learn that. If he wasn't received, Shalita, I'm just little old Nikki. I'm just little old Nicole, right? So I have to do what my Jesus did. I can't stop. I have to keep going, and I'm quite sure Shalita can say the same thing. Dr. Fayshaw, you can say the same thing. We cannot stop. You know what I'm saying? We got to keep going.
That's right.
Because if he went through hell, they tore him down. Imagine us. So we have to make sure we give people grace, and everybody not where we at. So we got to start. I'm at a season in my life, I got to be authentic and say, I don't look at the outer person anymore. I look at that spirit. So when I see that spirit, I have to go to my daddy God and say, teach me how to handle that spirit so I won't mishandle your people? Dr. Faye?
Ooh, y'all have said a lot, but I am thrilled to have met you or to be in your presence because I've heard from Dr. Nikki all the great things
Yes,
that
honey.
you've done in this community, and just to hear what you're doing when you say help. Everybody doesn't have a servant's attitude. Everybody just simply they want to be helped, but don't want to offer help. And I think that it's a lot of people that are takers and not givers. And when you're able to help people to make a difference in someone else's life, especially when they're not able to do it for you in return, that's when I think when we truly help someone. Because a lot of times we help people based on the fact that they can help us, they can do something for us. Is that really helping? And when you say you reach back to help someone because you remember where you came from. And I know that to be true. I served in the military and I would tell my soldiers all the time, always reach back and help someone. Did you just become like that over the years or did it come as a child? What made you passionate about helping people? What's your why?
So two things, I'll answer that in two things. So first I want to go back to my dearly loved grandmother who's in heaven now. Her name was Bertha Reeves and we called her Nanny. And so I can remember sitting on her bed as a child and I said all my cousins and family had talents. And I said, well, Grandma, God didn't give me a talent. And I said that because, some of them could sing, some could play the piano, they could dance, they were athletic, just different talents. Everybody seemed to have, a talent. And I said, well, why didn't God give me a talent? And she said to me, she said, baby, you got the best talent out of all of them. And I said, well, Grandma, what is it? And she said, you got that gift to gab. She said, you got a mouth that's going to take you places they won't even go.
Oh,
and
God.
she said, you got a mouth that'll get you out of things that they won't even be able to get out of. So she said, your ability to talk to people and to deal with people, watch how far it takes you in life. And so I, as a child, I was thinking, well, Grandma, that was a nice way Grandma said he didn't give me a talent. And then as I got older, I embraced that because I do embrace the fact that I have a natural ability to deal with people and to understand people. And I often hear people say, I'm going to meet a person where they're at. Well, that's a two-step thing for me. I'm not just going to meet you where you're at, fact. I'm going to meet you where we're at. We're going to move from this spot. Okay. Because we ain't going to stay here. Okay. So when I meet you where you're at, I'm going to bring you somewhere else. And so I think that nature in me started as a child, and as I became older and as I became more exposed to things and people, and I've traveled all over this world. I've traveled to 50 states, I've traveled many other countries, and so I think that exposure and understanding just the dynamics of different people has been beneficial, for me. And I understand that, we all have different walks, we have different plights, we have different places, but it's important for me to feel like we can connect wherever you are. I mean, I can sit and have a steak dinner with the President of the United States right now, and I can also sit and have a steak dinner with the janitor and appreciate both. And so that's the person I am because I connect with people. That ability to talk and form relationships. The janitor has been more valuable to me than the president sometimes. And so, and I understand that value and I understand that place. And so I think that just that nature of me being a people's person makes me want to help people. And it's just a lifelong journey thing for me. And then the second part of that, I'm going to say something that modestly one of my children said to me. I formed an organization 11 years ago, and it's called the Holiday Smile Project. Well, the Holiday Smile Project was formed because I wanted to help vulnerable populations in this community. So at Christmas time, we want to help children who are underserved, So we've been giving them Christmas gifts, not missing a Christmas since 11 years ago, 2013 when we formed the organization.
Wow.
And then we want to help elderly at Easter, and we gave them Easter baskets, useful items that would be good for them. And then we wanted to help veterans, which is another vulnerable population in our community. So at the patriotic holidays, we put care packages together and give them. Well, a lot of people don't know about the organization. Those who receive the help, they know about the organization. They tell people about it. But you know, it's not something that we blast. And people say to me, well, why doesn't anybody know about the Holiday Smile Project? Because I didn't form the Holiday Smile Project for publicity. I formed the Holiday Smile Project to help people. And so for the last 11 years, we've been able to help so many people, so many families. And it wasn't about me. It wasn't about the founding people. It was something that me and my children sincerely wanted to do to help people. I was elected to the Millbrook City Council in 2012. And after serving 1 year, I saw the need for that, and we formed it. And so we celebrated our 10th year. We're just now starting to put up things like a Facebook page and things so people can contact and reach the organization. But that's just, you know, who I am. You know, I say a lot too that people compliment me on different things. You know, it's great when someone says that, you know, you're doing good things in the community, or you're smart, or you're this, or you're that. But the two greatest compliments by far that I always take with pride is when people say, you're doing these great things, but you're still humble.
I like
You
that.
understand where you are, where you come from, where you are, and where you're going, the humility. And so I always try to keep that. I never want to be bigger than the vision, bigger than the project, because it's not about me, it's about He, and it's about what we can do to honor Him on our walk, you know, on this journey. And so I take that compliment with highest pride. And then the second thing is when people tell me that I'm a great mom, because I love my children. I mean, they are my world. I raised 3 amazing children. My oldest daughter, Deja LOYD, is a practicing attorney in Houston. She passed the Houston bar and the Alabama bar, so shout out for her coming off mommy's payroll. I'm so excited about that. So if you're listening, Deja, that's an exciting time for me. And so my middle daughter, who's in grad school, she wants to be a clinical psychologist because she wants to help the mentally ill. I'm so proud of her. She is my only grandchild, Winter Denise, and that's my little pride and joy. And then my baby, he is 15 years old. He is a high school student, 10th grade at Stanhope Elmer High School, Jace Davis. J. LOYD is my middle daughter before she says, Mama, you didn't say my name.
Say the name.
And so, anyway, he's super smart and just, you know, he's on a trajectory to be an engineer, doctor, whatever he wants to be. He's a mostly A student. Every now and then he makes a B. And I'm super proud of them because I can see the fruits of my labor in them. And so, you know, it's just, you know, I've ingrained that in them. They do a lot of volunteering with me, community service with me. They work in the Holiday Smile Project with me. And it's just a wonderful feeling to be able to give back and for your seed, your lineage to understand that and we be able to do that.
Yes. Well, thank you. I like that Holiday Smile. I like it. I like the fact that you are willing to be God's hands and feet and mouthpiece in this earth to help other people, and you're doing it with passion, with humility, because that doesn't happen all the time. But we don't want you to continue to keep it on the down low, a secret, because people, your vision can be expanded so much more to help more people, because you know in your heart why you're doing it, why you're putting it on Facebook, why you're saying it now, so that you can help more people, not for you to be built up in what's being done. So I appreciate you for that. I mean, people don't seem to understand. Jesus said the poor will be with us always.
Yes.
And so it's part of our duty to help and give, because I've been in that situation where I need help.
Mhm.
And so I make it my business. I do it intentionally to help. And so your grandmother was right. You had a talent. And a lot of times we don't know what our talent is, but you was able to still maneuver and work within your talent. And you think because somebody else has 2 or 3 talents like talk about in the Bible, and that one person hid their talent. But I thank God that you allowed your talent to flourish, and God has given you so many more talents on top of what you didn't think that you had.
That's right.
So I love it. I mean I'm gonna stop talking because I don't wanna start crying.
Start crying.
Because you know when somebody's being real and when they're just talking. But you know when somebody's being real and they're doing the work that God has given them to do. And they do it on purpose and with intention. And not just do it halfway, but do it where your family sees you, where they take hold and they say, this is my legacy. This is what my mom is doing. She's not talking the talk, but she's walking it. And she's not just walking it by herself. We're not even walking behind her. We're walking beside her to help hold her up in what's going on, so that they can understand life does not revolve just around them.
That's right.
That you have placed in their hearts what God has given to you. And you have given it out. What an inheritance for kids to have while they're living here, and to work with you side by side with grace and with joy.
Now, Miss Faye, you said you was gonna stop, so you went.
I'm gonna pass the mic.
She did laugh. He's not
Before I start crying.
Oh, Lord, Jesus.
I'm telling you, we
We're trying to keep it together.
Because you said some beautiful things that are so true, and I think back as you were saying that to my mom, who's no longer with us, and I do a lot of things to honor her legacy and her memory, because I can remember her saying to me, she said, "Girl, you can't save the world. You just want to help everybody." She said, "You can't help everybody because everybody don't want to be helped."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Well, Mama, I got to try first." And that's just what it is.
Yeah. That is good. That is good.
Bring some tissues to Kiva.
Miss
We're
Faye
sorry.
started.
We stayed. She done started that crying. Lord have mercy. Jesus Christ. I gotta make y'all laugh and y'all have been cutting up. Lord Jesus.
Come on, Dr. Faye. But we thank you for your
Y'all want to share that? Cause y'all just don't see how we got to have people who cry about our show.
It's hard, but if I start talking about my mama, not to cry, because I love my mama, I miss her, and I am definitely my mother's child.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
You gotta
I come behind you. I know. How can you cover? How can we cover this?
But you talked about your legacy. You talked about just expound on that. What do you want people to know you for? What does your legacy look like?
Wow. That's a great question. You know, my legacy is my children, number one. The fact that I am able to instill in them the things that were instilled in me, and that they're able to carry that legacy on. If I left this world tomorrow, I'm always well with my soul, because I know they will.
I feel that. I do feel that too. Yeah.
So September 20th,
I know, right?
Thank you so much.
the Her Awards is coming to Montgomery, Alabama, and we're honoring the Dr. Joyce Lloyd Day. I'm like, hey guys, y'all so good.
That means it's a good conversation. That means when we bring them to tears, it's a good conversation.
Oh my gosh,
Yes.
you know. But yeah, that is amazing. And I just want to thank Dr. Nikki for you to bring the Her Awards to our city, and for me to be on the platform.
Yes,
So
you
many
were so
amazing
good.
women. The photo shoot was everything, and for me, most of them I knew, a few I had not met.
Right.
And for me to, meet those ladies.
She
and
even
presidents, oh my
had
goodness.
cousins on. I mean, Milton Lattimore.
I wanted to know she has a school in Africa, the work that she's doing. Even these other awardees that I see that you are awarding for things that they're doing in this community, there's so many. It is the time of the woman.
It is.
This is the time of the woman. We are fearless. We are strong. We are. We make the world go around.
Come
You
on,
really
we
do
make the
that.
world go round.
And
It
fellas,
ain't money, that's us, ain't it?
fellas, I'm not saying this selfishly. Women make the world go round.
We do.
We do. We bring life into this world. We uplift life in this world.
Come on
We
now.
make life go around in this world.
Yes.
So it's just the time of the woman. And so for you to be doing this amazing award show, I'm honored to be a part of the platform with the other ladies.
I wouldn't have had it no other way.
Beautiful.
Yes.
I wouldn't have had it no other way. I called her. I was like, "You can you?" She's like, "You copy that girl."
She'll be
I'm about to tell you.
Listen, I was even modest then. I said, well, I received a huge award last year.
She did.
And I don't, that was well enough. I was inducted into the Alabama Nursing Hall of Fame.
Wow.
Which is
That's
amazing.
a
Come on, we gotta learn how to celebrate.
legacy. That's a legacy for my little grandbaby Winter. Denise to look back and say, my grandmother's in the Alabama Hall of Fame for nursing.
But this here award, baby.
I know, listen. And so I said to Nick, I said, so if you got somebody else, let me give you some names and something. She said, oh, I want you. This is what I want you to do.
No, see,
And you
about to give
deserve
up.
this.
About to give up.
I just don't give it up, baby, because I want other people to. But someone said to me, and I have to be honest, I was doing a huge project at Alabama State University. We launched the She Care Wellness Pods, working with Taraji P. Henson's foundation
Yes,
in
I
Kate
remember
Spade, New York. And I can remember one of the top executives, her name is Terry Bird, with Kate Spade, New York. She said to me on launch day, April 14th of 2023, and people were giving accolades about how we were able to make that program happen on the campus. Myself and Dr. Quincy Ross, our president, pitched why Alabama State University.
And he
They selected us at the first HBCU, and Dr. Ross is absolutely amazing. That's another conversation. Now, but he is absolutely amazing to work with, and we pitched that, and we were awarded that opportunity. And Taryn said to me, she said, every time somebody gives you an accolade, you don't know how to receive it. You don't know how to embrace someone talking about you and what you're doing. And she said, I want to say to you, just embrace it. You deserve that. And it felt really good from someone of her stature.
Right.
I mean, she's a top executive with Kate Spade, New York, an amazing company. Say to me to just embrace it. Let them talk about you. You need to hear this. You need to know that you are valuable to this community. I think it felt good.
Sometimes I think as women, we don't like to be affirmed. I teach on this all the time. You got to affirm yourself, and you got to make sure. Oh, I feel a preach coming on. Oh, Jesus help me. You have to make sure you have the right people down at your table that is sent to affirm you. We're gonna listen to me. We're gonna be forever affirmed. We gotta receive that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to have the right people around us that's willing to say, girl, you look good. Girl, I love this about you. I love that. You gotta have that. You know what I'm saying? And I think for you, that's what I was like, I gotta let my girl know, come over here and get this award, because you've paved the way for so many people and you don't mind sharing. You gotta, the people that I chose to get these awards, their heart posture is where it's supposed to be at. They don't mind they don't mind taking their shoes off and getting dirty to make sure somebody else is shining. And that's what when I think of you in the next lady that's come on the show, that's what I see. In order for you to be a real leader, you have to be selfless. You can't be the one. You have to be the one that help others, and you know what I'm saying, and you don't get the recognition. You might have to take several seats back and let others shine before you, and it's okay. And I'm for that. it need me take 7 seats back for somebody else to get what God has for them, I'm gonna rock that thing out for real.
Right.
Because I need my sister to know I got her back. And that's what it's all about. And that's why I wanted you to be a part of her awards, because I feel like you do that every day. And she right, when I gave her the award, told her about the award, she was trying to give me other names. I'm like, no, yes, I want you. I took the other names because the people that she gave me was qualified.
Right.
But you are as well.
Right.
So I can't wait to see. You gotta bring some sparkles to the table. Like, you know, spark. I know she gonna spark it. I know she gonna spark. So come on, let's go get this outfit.
Now, I'm known for the sparkle.
Come on,
I'm
let's go.
coming with the sparkle. All of that.
But Dr. Lloyd, can you leave us with information on how somebody can give to those organizations that you founded and you?
Absolutely. So the email is for Holiday Smile Project is holidaysmile2024@yahoo.com.
And I think we should give a percentage of the proceeds to the ticket sales to that.
Oh my gosh, Nikki, don't make me cry.
I think that'd be a good thing for us.
I mean,
Let's
certainly
do
if
it.
you guys want to buy some Christmas gifts, that's what the money's
Well,
gonna
you know,
go
I
to
do. You know,
Christmas
every year I do the
gifts,
stuff the
Christmas.
bucks.
But
So toys, as far as that, you can get all them toys with that, so it's not a problem. But I think a part of the proceeds for the ticket sales can definitely go towards your organization,
Well,
because you can take that money and go buy more toys for these kids, so we can be there and be a light. And I think that's something that we want. You know, the network would love to get back to that.
Well, I gotta tell you, my lead administrator and general counsel, who's probably watching this now, Deja Lloyd, our attorney,
Okay.
my daughter. Which probably say, Mom, say yes. Mom, say yes.
Like, Mom, don't mess us up now.
I got one shot.
One shot.
Mom, let you stop doing this, let somebody else do this. She's
Yeah.
my great advisor. And anything that the project could receive to help funnel back into the community, I certainly wouldn't turn that away.
We're gonna be there.
You are a very, Dr. Nikki, I've known of you longer than I've known you.
Right.
And one thing I have to say that I love about you, and just hearing a little bit about your story, which you showed me, is that you have the tenacity.
Mhm.
You're not gonna stop.
Mm-mm.
You gonna, if you get knocked down, you getting back up.
I got
And
you.
I love that. I love people like that because I have tenacity too.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna, if you tell me I can't do it, I'm gonna do it twice.
But listen,
I'm gonna show you I did it once, then I'm gonna do it a little better. Because that's just the tenacity in me.
well, it's a visionary. That's that visionary spirit that God has given. Pretty much even the guest is coming up next. That's the gift. That's the gift that God has given, especially for real leaders. We're not gonna say no. We're just not. We're gonna find a way around that thing to make it work, because when it's on your life, you gotta show up. Like, your show up matters, because people are watching. People watch us for real, y'all. They might not like our posts. They might not like us, but people are watching. And so we got to give them Jesus. We got to give them kingdom. We got to show up authentically who we are so he can shine. I tell anybody who I know, I work for Jesus full time. I don't work for Jesus on Sundays. I work for Jesus 7 days a week, pouring into women in business and letting them know that you got to unmuzzle your mouth. You got a book in your mouth. You got a workbook in your mouth. You got some coaching in your mouth. You got something that you got to say. And I'm like her, the gift of gab is, that's how I make my money. I got to talk. You give me the microphone, I'm ready. Because I got something to say. I've been balled, when you've been balled up so long, you like Alicia, like, I'm held now.
I mean, that's right, and that's real. And I do it every day in my day-to-day at Alabama State University, which I do want to give a shout out to the university.
Hey, yes.
It's a wonderful university, Alabama State University. And as Dr. Nikki said earlier, our president, Dr. Quincy Ross, is an amazing
He was the
leader.
first one,
Amazing
and I
leader.
hope he sees this. I love Quick Ross. When I decided to launch the first Black magazine in Montgomery, female
Awesome.
Black magazine, he was the first one to cut the check.
Wow.
He'll tell you. He
Wow.
cut me a check for $5,000 and said, "Go do you," and
Wow.
put my ad in there as a senator. He was the first check I ever received. I had $50 and a business card. That's all I had. And I would knock on doors, and I had 100 no's, girl, until one yes. It takes one yes to change your life.
That's
And
right.
that magazine ended up soaring really high. And so I'm a product of Quinn Ross. I will always be Team Ross because he didn't know me from a can of perm, but he cut the check because he believed in the vision.
Well,
So I'm like,
echo.
whatever he be is where I be.
I echo. His President's Gala is the next night.
I'm
And I
cutting.
remember we made sure those
And you
things
said
did not
she
collide.
did. She called me. She said, "God, it's the next night." I said,
I said, we
"Oh,
gotta make sure they don't collide because I've gotta be at the President's
And I'm
Gala.
coming to
And
that.
I'm so glad we would love to have you there.
Yes.
Like I said, he's just a wonderful leader to work for. Very, very good man, and he has moved the university forward exponentially since.
Now
he
you gotta
took
bring
over
him on our
as
show. You
president.
gotta get him
Oh,
on the show.
well, he's Dr. Ross. If you're not listening, I'll make sure you hear this. We have to come back to the show together
Please.
and talk about all the amazing
And the
things that are
gala.
happening at Alabama State
And
University.
talk about
And the President's Gala and why it's important. He get pitched that, honey. Why it's important to support his President's Gala this year because a lot of those funds go to funnel fuel the university and support our students and scholarships and opportunities and things they need to grow and be exposed and become the next generation of leaders.
yes.
In our community. So yes, well, I'll definitely speak with him and get him
All right.
back so we can talk.
Y'all heard from her now.
Yes.
The doctor's in. Listen, let's give it up for Dr. Joyce Lord. Okay, Takima, take us out. I can't hear that all the way. Hey y'all, we back. This is what you call bloopers. Listen, we still trying to navigate this show. So this is second week, y'all. So forgive me, okay? But I'm gonna let my pink pillow sit down. But we got my girls in the building. Yes. Now my girl, for real is in the building. Listen, we're so excited. Welcome to the Convo Christian Talk Show. The DR.TAMMIE McCurry in the building. Let's go ahead and clap it up. Y'all know the saying, baby. The oil is in the room. The oil is here. She ain't ashy, she oily. She oily, baby. You gotta say it right. Oily. Oily. I'm ready to start. Thank you for coming, Doc. Let's go ahead and put your invitation. Oh, listen.
My goodness.
You know I'm seeing you every day. For real, we just connected. She just so, if you know her, if somebody says something about her, I'm like, no, it's you, baby. She just not that, you know what I'm saying? She just that girl. She just down to earth. Every time I see you, I just smile because you're so down to earth. Out of all the accolades and all the things that you endure, you're so down to earth.
Thank you.
And I love it. I love the whole family. They all oily.
Yes.
The hub oil, the grandbabies oil. I said, man, they got a whole plan. But I'm gonna tell you something. I wanted 10 kids.
Wow.
I wanted 10 kids.
Listen, the 6 and the 12 grandchildren. I'm grateful. I'm grateful because people don't understand being a mom is a calling.
Ooh, she finished.
A lot of times people have children, but they don't understand that that's a commitment. It's a lifetime commitment.
Yes.
I came to tell somebody, you think that when they're babies, that's when you got the hard work. No, baby, it's when they grow up. when they are adults and they get to make their own decisions and you're on your face because you're saying, God, don't let them make the wrong decision. Because it comes to a point that the influences outside of the house
Come on.
are greater than the influences
Inside
in the
that.
house.
And you said, and I just went through that. And you said that outside him and went through all this hell with you.
Yeah.
When you didn't have nobody, including your husband, I was right there to help you, to coach you. And now I'm giving you sound, godly advice. And you looking at me like I'm crazy. Like I'm not your mom.
So this is what happens, Nikki. A lot of times we as mamas and daddies, we try to become God to our children. And so what happens is we don't want them to get hurt. You know, when they're babies, we don't want them to fall. But if you don't fall, you don't know how to get up and walk again.
This is good.
And so we try so hard to keep them from having, we don't want their lights to get turned off. We don't want their cable to get turned off. But that's what made us. See, I learned that you can burn candles when the lights get turned off. And you playing a game.
Come on now.
Yeah, we playing a game tonight. Mama might like, oh, we playing a game. We're going to
I
bed
know
early.
that. I know I like that.
Yeah, so we try so hard to keep our children from going through the things that will push them to God. And then we wonder why they don't listen to us when they become adults. It's because we make it so easy sometimes that they don't get to see what the struggle really is about.
You know, I'm gonna say this to you. When I thought about you, I said she's in the people business. When I looked at you seriously, I said she's in the people business. You have your children, then you have your children's husbands. That's people. Then you got the grandkids. Then you have your Christian sorority. Then you have your husband, Christian sorority, fraternity. Help me. And then now you are a pastor. You are in, and then you got your business. I'm like, Lord, I ain't trying to be, how do you juggle?
Listen, it's the grace
All
of
the
God.
attitudes.
It's the grace of God. And there are days.
And demons.
Yeah,
Come on now.
yeah, because every level brings on different devils. Okay, but it's the grace of God that reminds me that without Him, I can't do it. So the reason why to other people it looks easy, it's not easy. It's very challenging. And when I feel the most challenged, it's when I remember, oh, you weren't doing this by yourself anyway. It's at the point that I say, oh, I can't get this done, I can't get that done, I can't do this. And God taps me on my shoulder and says, you were never doing it anyway. And so the same way you started asking me for help, you have to continue to ask me for help. And that's the thing that keeps me humble. I love when Dr. Joyce was up here and talking about the thing that makes you humble is the fact that you know if God takes His hand off of you, there is nothing you can do. And I was sharing with Shalita earlier that on yesterday I preached a sermon and I talked about the whisper, the wail, and the worship. I talked about how when we are not quiet to hear the whisper of God, and when we get too proud that we can't wail and holler out for Him, then we'll never get to the place of worship. And those are the key things that I use in my everyday life. I never want to ever get to a point that I'm too busy to pray. Because when my husband needed the kidney, I was on my face at 5 o'clock every morning.
Come on.
So I can't ever, no matter what the dollar signs say, I can't ever get too busy that I can't remember that that's the same God.
Help us today.
I want to say to you, thank you for thinking of me and honoring me with this award. I was so humbled and appreciative and just, oh my God, like, you know, because it's one of those things where I was like, oh, that's so sweet of Nikki. And then I looked and I was like, oh. And God said to me, He said, you're busy looking at who's honoring you and not realizing I opened the door because I'm exposing you differently.
But you know, you have been such an inspiration to me, even with the Herpreneur Network.
Wow.
Because it was times where I wanted to give it up. And I saw you persevere. And I'm looking at you like, if she can do this, I gotta do this.
Yeah. Listen.
Because it's a lot.
You said something earlier. When we get ready to give up, it's somebody watching us. Here's the thing. I'm not naive enough to think that everybody watching me is watching me because they like me. They're watching me to see if I'm going to fail.
Come on.
And because I refuse to fail, because it's never been about me.
Yes.
And because it's about God, I'll keep going back to Him. And every time I go back to Him, He said, okay, brush on off, put your smile on, and go back out there. Because somebody is saying, if Dr. McCurry can't make it, I won't make it. And when I think about the sorority, when I think about Tyrone Christian sorority, that's what I see. I see women who started with me 7 years ago, that women who were living in an apartment who bought their own houses. I see women who had gone to school but didn't know if they could finish school. So when I think about that organization, I think about being a Proverbs 31 woman. That is so important to me daily. I don't get it right every day, but I got a husband that on my bad days, he's gonna cover me. On my good days, he's gonna cover me, and then he's gonna cover me everything in between.
And I think that's what it was for me. You know, my husband.
Yeah.
It was him. But secondly, God had to help me create this network. And it was a lady, and she's probably watching, Queen Margie. I never saw myself as a Proverbs 31. I didn't. Until she said it. And I'm like, me? Because no one ever called me that.
Wow.
And so when she said it, I started researching more sleep, like, what does that look like? She see that in me, and I don't see it in myself. I need to change the way I see myself.
Right.
And so I began to study Proverbs 31 and get in there. And I'm like, I know this. This is who I am. This is lovely. But the devil had me so blind because I didn't feel worthy of even having the word Proverbs 31 even next to my name.
Wow.
So it took a stranger from Boston, Massachusetts to tell me who I was. She had to, once again, affirm me.
Yeah.
And once I got it, I was like, okay. And so not only did she affirm me, but her and another young lady made me minister for a whole year,
Wow.
365 days, every day at 5:30 to help me get in my word. So even though she affirmed me and gave me that scripture, I had to study and show myself worthy of what God
needed. Not be ashamed. Rightly.
rightly.
Amen.
Yeah. Because we got a lot of preachers who can preach,
Come on now.
but can you rightly divide the word?
Come on.
And when I think about the Proverbs 31 woman, rightly divided, I don't have to be like anybody else. I don't have to look like anybody else. I just got to be the woman He called me to be. And so in being that, I don't look at other women as competition to me. I look at them as a opportunity to collaborate. I look at them as, if I see another woman who may be doing something and I'm like, oh, well, I can help you with that. I'm not looking for you to say, oh, Dr. McCurry, help me. No, I'm looking for you to say, you go out there and you shine. And I get to say, oh my God, thank you for the opportunity. A lot of times we say, we got to do something. I live my life, I get to do it. I get to help other women. I get to be a blessing. I get to watch my children be the women that God called them to be. It's an honor to have raised 6 Proverbs 31 women in their own right. They ain't trying to be like their mama went. I remember having my children, and I remember people saying to me in church, oh, how you gonna put all those children through college? When I tell you that God put all of them children through college, they don't have, many of them have 2 degrees, not just 1, but everybody went to college. And here's the thing, I told them they ain't have to. I said, if y'all don't want to go to college, if you get out of high school, you get you a good job, that's fine with me. Because I realized that my children had to have the life that they wanted, not the one I wanted for them.
This is good. Amen. Amen.
Shalita?
Well, working under Dr. McCurry. She was my executive director at HRDI. And I can remember I think it was the first month that you were there. And I don't know if you knew or not, but I was supposed to graduate that year, that summer, and I didn't graduate. And so I felt the people were talking. I felt, look at her, that failure. And so when you called me one day and you said, and I told you, I said, I'm getting ready for my graduation. You said, oh, congratulations. And when I got off the phone with Dr. McCurry, I was like, wow, she don't even know me. You know what I mean? To be affirmed in that way, I really appreciated that. And so from there, I started watching you and admiring your leadership, because you are a born leader. Come on now. And so I remember also asking her one day, she had the Jeremiah 29:11 on her car. And so as a babe in Christ, I said, what is that? What scripture is that? And she told me. And so in prayer, I went and looked it up. And so in prayer, I would start, saying that in prayer. So I was watching you, and I appreciate the leadership. I appreciate being under leadership of integrity, because that taught me as a leader, in my business, how to lead with integrity, how to bring other ladies up, and not like you just said, they come to work for you and they see you, but am I reaching my hand out to say, good job, right. I'm proud of you, I see you, and I want you to excel beyond this. Because I understand where I am, and the job that I offer is a stepping stone to somebody. Yes. And you said you saw that. So I appreciate that. So in that, I appreciate the fact that you pull ladies up. You're on the stairs, but you're pulling these ladies up.
Listen, because if you don't ever pull anybody else up, there's gonna come a point that there's gonna be nobody left. Because here's the thing, if I'm on a ladder and I'm not pulling anybody up, what if I start falling? There's nobody to catch me. And I might get to a point that this is as far as I could go. I need somebody to be able to go on past where I am. When I think about my girls, my ceiling is their floor. Wow. So where I get to at this, I'm trying to get to wherever God wants me to be so that they can know that it is possible. Come on now. I need them to know that nobody can tell you that you cannot do anything. You can even be the president of the United States when God feels it is time. Come on. So there's nothing you can't do. You can own your own business. You can work for somebody else. Whatever it is, you got to know that you're capable as long as God's hand is on you.
That's good. Amen. I
Another
appreciate
thing.
that.
Ooh, that's a lot. But I mean, I can totally understand, because a lot of times we can go along in life and we can feel lonely. We can be in a room full of people and feel lonely and feel alone. And I think that it's heartbreaking to think that you can sit in the midst of so many people and feel alone. But I can understand what you're saying, being there and helping other people. And if you don't, you'll find yourself alone. Yeah. But I remember when I first met you, and it was at Grace Church, at Grace Baptist Church. Yeah. And that's when I can't remember my name right now, or why I can't remember. Silver Sloan.
Yes. Dr. Sloan.
Yes. She was there. So that was my first time meeting you in person, face to face. So when I heard Dr. Nikki say your name, I was like, oh, this is interesting. But I knew of some of the things that you had done from Bishop KK and from Dr. Silver Sloan. So I knew that you were a perfect fit.
Thank you.
to go along with the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award. And people tend to think, oh, you just get this overnight, and that's not what happens. It's not something that you say, oh, well, I'm 18 years old and I think I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get a Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award. It just doesn't work like that. Perhaps now, because people are getting it and they become aware, and you have your grandchildren and your children, younger kids like Dr. Lloyd Davis. I think she said she had a 15-year-old. Because his mother has received that award, or will be receiving that award on September 20th. They know that it's there. It's an opportunity to not just strive to just get that, but to continue to strive to make a difference in the community. And perhaps that will be one of the accolades or awards that they will be presented with. So in saying that, I know that you have 6 daughters.
I do, and let me do my shout out. Brittany, Jasmine, Takia, Michaela, and Ashley. I love you guys so much, and I love my babe, Michael. I love you, babe. Because I gotta go back home to the folks.
But to know that you have 2 left that inheritance, a path that you have blazed. I know, I'm from what I remember, you founded your own Christian fraternity.
Sorority.
So did your husband
He had a fraternity. He did, yeah.
Okay, so why did you both? Why did you want to do that?
So for me, I realized, I woke up one day and realized I am the wife to Elder Michael McCurry, and I'm the mama to these 6 girls. And I had lost me. I was doing so much stuff, but I didn't have people that were in my life just for me. Like, I didn't have girls, friends I could go kick it with. We could just go out to eat. I didn't have to be Dr. McCurry. I didn't have to be Evangelist McCurry. I just wanted to have people to hang out with, and then, so I was thinking about that, and then I realized that what was most passionate to me was that women were able to be all that God wanted them to be. And when I looked in the Bible, the Proverbs 31 woman was that. She was all that God had created her to be. And so I looked at, okay, God, you want me to do this, and what does that really mean? It means that you have women that may have thought that they couldn't go back to school because they've been mamas. They put life on the back burner. So as a part of our process, the very first thing we do is we do vision boards. But your vision board is not about what you want for your family, what do you want to do for you? What do you want for you? And from that, they get to say, you know what, let me go back and see what I need, what I want. Because a lot of times as women, we lose ourselves in everything else. We lose ourselves in our children. We're being good mamas, we're being good wives, but we lose ourselves. And then I'm also a licensed marriage and family therapist. So from a mental health perspective, we lose ourselves, and then our children grow up and we find ourselves getting, we start drawing apart from our spouses, and then we get depression.
Wow.
Because we didn't take the time to invest in us. And so part of what the Christian sorority is about is teaching women that you don't have to be like anybody else, but be the best version of you. And, for a lot of women, they don't know what that looks like. And it doesn't have to look like a Dr. Nikki Ziegler or a Miss Shalita Freeman or Dr. Faith. It doesn't have to look like that. It just has to be whatever you were yesterday. The only competition is looking in the mirror and doing a better job today than you were yesterday. And so that was kind of my thing. It was like an opportunity I had poured into my daughters. And it was an opportunity that there are women in the organization that, their moms might have passed when they were younger. And I get to be able to invest in them in different ways. And so for a lot of people, they don't understand about sororities and fraternities and, Christendom, and that's a whole meeting and show in itself. But I will say this: I know that God called me to this. I use it as a different and another avenue to reach people, because we don't just reach women; we reach their children. Because when Proverbs 31 mama becomes a better mama,
That's good.
when a Proverbs 31 woman who's a part of Tyrone becomes a better wife, then the family benefits from that.
That's
And so that for me is what it's about. It's about being able to sow seed in other people's lives so that they become better. And in the process, they get to understand what kingdom really looks like. And that's a big thing for a lot of people, because when we have gotten so far away, we've gotten so into denominations. The one thing about the sorority is it's not any one denomination. So there's no, we trying to build, it's not a church. My favorite phrase, we not a church.
But I think, when people don't understand things, they make up stuff.
Yeah.
When they don't understand things, they try to put a damp of confusion on people's businesses. And when you can just call and ask the question, what is you representing? What does that look like? But and I've met people who've hated, and I'm like, okay, did you call?
But
why don't you make the phone call and say something to them?
What's so amazing for me is that we do community service, right?
Man, y'all be everywhere.
There are women in the organization before they came in had never done community service.
Wow.
They had never given back. One of our community services is that we do something for the first responders. The people who protect and serve us. So we do something for them. We of course do the kidney walk every year, and we do breast cancer. But we do so many other things.
You guys for years, y'all did stuff for us.
So just being able to give back, because that's what it's
about. And not only give back, but accountability.
Yeah.
Accountability, because some of the girls is part of it. I literally have saw the flourish. I'm like, oh wow. You know what I'm saying? It's enough out here for all of us. Even when I brought you down to Destin a couple of years ago. And someone called you like, well, I'll try to do the same thing. No, the Herpreneur Network is not a sorority.
It's not.
This is what she does. No, we're business women. It's a network of women in business. That's it, in ministry.
I think
totally different thing.
What you just said though, when people don't understand. And so it takes opportunities like this. It takes the Dr. Nikki and the Dr. Tammy sitting on the same stage.
Exactly. on purpose.
On purpose. And people see, yeah, we good. We good over here.
I'm serious.
Yeah. And so that's what it takes, because that's the enemy. That's how the enemy works. He comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And so if we're busy trying to be in competition with one another, there's a whole world out here. We got people shooting and killing each other, but we worried about who gonna get the props. So we have to go back and be like, okay, God, what's my part? Because I can't do it all. Dr. Nikki can't do it all. Here's the thing. Imitation is the best form of flattery. And anybody can imitate something, but if you are called and ordained to do something, that assignment belongs to you. So the assignment that's on my life is the assignment on my life.
Right.
It has nothing to do with anybody else. And so I'm going to stay over here in my little vineyard, and I'm going to keep on harvesting what God puts over here.
That's right.
But what I don't do and what I will not do, I won't take your bricks to build my house.
That's right.
And so I'm going to do what God gives me to do. And I'm going to help you as I can. And you will do the same for me.
And we have to say this. Even if it was an AKA, even if it was a Delta, even if it was a Sigma Gamma, or any sorority or fraternity or any organization, collaboration trumps competition every time. It's enough, like she said, it's enough out here. One of the young ladies she was a member of the network, and she joined your organization. And she said, I'm calling to apologize. I said, no. You need to go what makes you happy. See, when you talk differently like that, they're not used to that. Because in this particular city, it's that no. I can't be for everybody. She can't be for everybody. But coming together, we can do a lot.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's what my heart posture is. I'm like, man, listen, she got a word in her, and I know she's mastered collaboration, because she got it. In order for you to have a sorority on this magnitude, you have to be a master of collaboration. And it ain't easy. Not dealing with women. Boy, I'm talking about,
You learn about that.
girl, I'm telling you, I don't see it all. I have to ask you this question. How do you stay being a trailblazer when you see people duplicate what you do?
I don't focus on that.
Okay.
So, I never.
In the camp.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
It don't matter if they could be in the house.
Okay.
I'm not gonna get distracted from what I'm supposed to be doing, because that's a trick of the enemy. So while I'm over here trying to see if you're duplicating what I'm doing, I've stopped doing what I was supposed to be doing.
You need to come teach that class.
So
She gotta teach that class.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have time for that. Like, it's so much work to be done.
You got
I don't
time.
have time. Like, I'm not gonna waste my energy worrying about if you're doing what I'm doing. Because you can't be doing what I'm doing because God created me to do this.
That's right.
Now, you may be doing what He told you to do, or maybe you're not doing what He told you to do. You're just doing what you want to do. Regardless of whichever it is, I don't have time. It don't even matter. It don't even matter.
Because
I just keep on
I'm
walking.
serious, y'all. I think there needs to be a dialogue, not just because of her having the sorority, but I think it needs to be a panel discussion about how do you overcome the competition, or how do you overcome being that trailblazer and you seeing other people duplicating what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the type of for me, these are the type of conversations that need to be said and had, because what it does, it puts a blank eye in the enemy to show and help people to deal with that.
Right.
Because it got on my nerve.
But you can't.
I was frustrated.
You can't focus on it. Like,
But I'm saying,
yeah.
but for me, when it's in your face.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When it was in my face, I'm over that now, child. We over something else. But I'm telling you, Dr. Tammy, it was hard because, you know, I'm who I am. I've never been a competition person. I've never been the kind of person to compare. I ain't shaped like that.
Mm-hmm.
I just be in my own little world. But when you have people, you know what I'm saying? But when you have people coming behind you and you're like, now you know them my colors. You know,
Yeah.
your set don't supposed to look like my set. Come on. You know what I'm saying? And I had to learn, honestly, how to know the difference between someone admiring what you do and being in competition. And how I overcame it, Shalita. God says, I made you my power surge.
Wow.
And I said, power surge. And I went and bought a power surge. And he said, in order for them to work, you got to, I got you as the plug. I got you as the person who keep the power going. They got to plug into you. So you ain't got time to be weak. You ain't got time to be up there trying to see what they got going on. You got, like I just said, you got to focus on the vision that God is giving you. But it's so many, I have so many people who come to me and ask me the question I asked you. And, you know, and I said it the way you said it, but you said a little different. Like, I bring you in to talk about people.
But I think you never know the intentions of somebody else's heart.
Right.
But like you said, if you focus on what you're doing, I think if you don't have a trademark of you, if it's not yours by court, and somebody else goes and does something similar, then maybe they just copied the right cat. You know, you be a copycat.
You gotta
You gotta copy the right cat.
I ain't never copied nobody.
But still, everybody, you can be doing something in Montgomery, somebody could be doing something way on the West Coast, and you say, oh wow, they had the same name. They had, like this morning when you was talking, you went to Ephesians 2 and 10. I can't claim Ephesians 2 and 10, even though I have in the state of Alabama masterpiece. It was something that I thought I could think that it's just mine. It came from the scripture. I use Ephesians 2 and 10. It's on a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, I got a logo and, you know, okay, I got to make sure it get trademarked, but I can't stop somebody from using a t-shirt. I can't stop somebody from saying it. So it's so many different variations. That's why I'm saying sometimes people are going to copy you. not because they're competing, but they're saying, oh, this is a person that I admire. They're strong.
Well, that's why I said it is a difference.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying some
Yeah, it's a difference. But if you in the camp, you should be copied.
because you're the right cat.
But if you're in the camp, you should be copied. It's just like somebody going to her.
I'm saying it don't have to be the exact same thing. Like I like pink. I've been
Yeah,
liking pink, but
yeah.
you like pink.
Yeah. That ain't copying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's not copying, but
But if you just
that's what
don't
I'm
say
saying. We don't
pink
know
turquoise and
people's heart,
gold,
no.
that's
So we don't see some people's heart that are paying attention.
I get what you're saying,
Yeah,
but if,
that's all I'm saying.
what I'm saying
So we
is,
never know, but if we concentrate on that, we're gonna stop going. We're gonna drop our ball.
Well, let me say this, your peak and gold.
in turquoise,
Some people are connected to your peak and
put
gold.
in there,
And her
turquoise.
turquoise.
Come on,
And some folks are connected to your peak and gold.
Now I got
And pink and purple.
Yeah,
So, you gonna draw the people that need to be drawn.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but not if they in the camp. I don't care what none of y'all saying to me.
But we understand that.
Let's be honest.
If it's copying, it's copying.
Copy.
Well, that was a motive.
Come on.
That was just a motive and intent. But, yeah, you don't know
But I
that.
get what she said, that God's still working on me. Thank you, Jesus. But I'm just saying, come on.
Still a work in progress. I think he really is still working on all of us. Like,
He really is, especially me, because that's a pet peeve of mine.
like,
Don't do that.
thing. Again, I go back to if we focus on what he gave us to do,
You're right.
then
Yeah.
because it's gonna happen. It's gonna
Oh,
happen.
no, it didn't happen.
It's gonna happen, and then look. Then what happens is if you put a lot of energy or you focus on that,
Right.
then when people start, they don't look at the fact that somebody else started doing what you were doing.
Right.
They look at how you respond to what they did.
Right. No, I get it.
That's what they look at, and then they're not as Christian like as they said they were, or they're not, whatever the case is. So
I get it.
you have to keep moving forward. You have to keep doing what it is that you need to be doing, so
Right.
that it doesn't matter.
I get it.
It won't matter.
No, I'm saying in the camp, though.
It ain't gonna be in the cap.
Long as it ain't in the camp.
Don't be in the camp, y'all.
Don't be in the camp. I'm just playing. It really doesn't matter to me. I could understand maybe about 3 or 4 years ago. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I used to be frustrated with that because when you're a visionary and you don't work so hard to get to where you at, you don't want nobody to come in and duplicate what you work hard for because they don't know what the hell you went through to get to where you at. So that used to hurt me. But now I laugh at it. Now I smile at it. But God had to deliver. I'm serious. That was a whole demon. He had to deliver me from that.
I'm gonna say this right here. My grandma used to say this, wait a while. Anything that is done that is not done with the right motive, if
It
you
don't
wait a
last.
while, it's not gonna
It's
last.
not gonna last.
It's not gonna last.
And I'm talking about that's exactly what she said. When I say my apostle told me, she told me that she said, just wait for a while. Y'all, I promise you within maybe 6 months, I look back, I'm like, where is it's like it just dissolved.
Fell out. Didn't have the right image.
Didn't have the right
It
image.
didn't have a Dr. Nick and pink and turquoise.
They go.
It didn't have a snap on it.
And they go.
And they go.
I ain't got to have the purple. I do that purple in for Shalita in favor to come back.
Thank you for the purple.
But that happened on network, baby. That pink turquoise go every day. I swear. Come on, sweetie.
Well, Dr. McCurry, I know that you and your daughter have established a business together.
So we have a office together.
Okay.
So she is the CEO and founder of the Region HR. So it's a HR consulting firm.
Okay.
Brittany McCurry Wingate.
Put
And
that plug in there. One of the
yeah.
honorees.
Yes. And I am the president of Confidential Consultants, and we do trainings, customized training for leadership, stress management trainings,
That's good.
time management trainings, and then I also have a private practice as a licensed marriage and family therapist. So I do a lot of individual counseling. The population that seems to be where God has me right now is women.
Come on now.
Women that are going through depression, anxiety, because that, I think the one thing that COVID did, it would show us that mental health is real for all of us. When isolation came, it hit all of us.
Come on now.
And so you still have a lot of people that are fighting back from those feelings. And so I get to use the gift that God gave me in counseling. And so I love being able to help women to dig out of that place. Because we may start in a place of darkness, but God has a way of showing you a light, and you just have to start walking toward it.
That's good
Yes,
right
I
there.
like that. I like
I
that.
like that.
Yeah, I think about
I should know y'all own the business together, so we find out some new areas.
No, she got her business, I got my business. But when we were looking for locations, and again, collaboration, it didn't make a lot of sense to go out here and get 2 buildings just to say we had 2 buildings.
Right.
When God gave us a building that had everything we needed
That's good.
for both of us.
That's smart now. Come on,
That's
smart.
smart. But would you be able to tell us how to get in contact with you?
Absolutely, yes. So you can get in contact with us by giving us a call at 334-593-2747, or you can go to our websites. Oh, Brittany gonna get me. I think hers is theregionhr.com. But I'm not positive, so just call her.
Well, we're gonna she gonna come on the show.
Okay, she gonna come on the show. Okay.
Yeah, she gonna
But and mine is confidentialconsultants.org. I'm getting tongue tied. You gotta walk it out. But listen, before I go though, let me just say this, because y'all been talking about all this bling for this event, and so I hope I got somebody watching that knows they need to get me some bling for this event. Because I'm excited.
Listen,
about
we want the
this.
gowns.
Yes.
We want the gowns. We want the bling. Listen, you don't have to wear pink. Everybody keep calling pink. No, we didn't say that. We said pink carpet.
Yeah.
So you can wear any color you want to wear to the event. So pull out your gowns. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We got entertainment. We got music. It's gonna be a lot of networking. Bring your business cards. Let's make some money while you're there. It's gonna be a lot of beautiful people coming together to be celebrated. I'm excited to be one of those people. And your folks be called. I said, call DR.TAMMIE. Call DR.TAMMIE.
Listen, I told the people, listen, if you wanna be a part of tables, call me so you can get your tickets, so I can get this stuff to Dr. Nikki.
Cause this lady, she called me, she said, I said, no, call DR.TAMMIE. She's put her this. Cause what I don't want them to do is buy a ticket and then they think they sitting with you, and you can look like, no, I don't even know who you are. So, we want to make sure Takima's really working pretty hard. Shout out to Takima Rogers for helping us out. Stop it out for her. And listen, she's what you call a Renaissance woman.
Yeah.
But, we want to make sure we are intentional to sit the people who you have at your table, because all tables are customized. So it's going to be really good. And your picture came out. It was the best cover that we had.
Yes.
Me, her, and Q Ray on our cover. That cover is banging.
I love it. I saw it this morning. I've been really working intentionally on these things that I got going on in life, and so I haven't been on social media as much. And it's so funny because every time I go on social media, I'm like, oh my gosh, look at that, there's something else. And so I'm trying to go back and make sure
is really buzzing.
that I share and I shout out. And so, like tomorrow, that's gonna be my thing, is social media day for me tomorrow morning, to try to just make sure that I let you know how much I appreciate you for thinking of me and for this honor, and just how proud I am of you for the things that you're doing.
When you sent your hours in, I was like, oh my God. Takima tell my Tammy, you did that thing. Some of them just sitting me with it. I said, no, you was so detailed. I love that. Because the only thing I had to do was cut and paste it and send it over to the organization, and they said approve. I said, thank you. I'm on something else. It made my life easier, knowing those hours, and you was very detailed with your stuff. And so I appreciate you. You can tell that you stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And that's a blessing.
Well, that you sending that made me do that. It made me pull
Everybody
everything
said
together. Because it's like you do so many things. And I was just thinking about when my children were smaller, we used to go to the Salvation Army at Christmas time. That was a big thing for us to give back. So before Santa, because I'm that mama, before Santa came to our house, 2 or 3 days before, they went and gave bikes and walked bikes to other children's cars. with their parents.
That's
And
good.
so what that meant was teaching them at an early age about community service and what community service looks like. And so as far as I could ever think back, we've always done that. Since we had our children, it's always trying to give back to somebody else because we've been the people that needed it. And so when we are not the people that need it, we want to make sure we are ones who are helping people who need. Because all of us get there at some point in life.
Wow. Well, listen, guys. Time has been amazing tonight. I'm excited. We've had 3 powerhouses. They were no regular guests. It was hard for us to interview, and I get it. Y'all got these 10-minute interviews that we said, and I'm looking like, I don't think we're gonna be able to do this because they have so much to say. And I kept saying, like, Lord, I hope Faye ain't mad. I hope Shalene ain't mad. I'm gonna go home. But, I feel like the nuggets that have been dropped in this room really has been amazing. So we're gonna thank Dr. Tammy for coming. Let's go ahead and clap it out for her. Come on, audience, help me clap it out. And we're gonna come back and end the show, but we want to thank you so much, and we'll see you September the 20th. We got a release part of the magazine on September 19th. So we're excited about the release part of the magazine coming out. Y'all know I'm so extra. We end up doing 5 covers, like 5 real covers. So the big cover is what you see on the Capitol. That's gonna be the main cover for all magazines, but the other covers are double covers. So she and I, we'll have our cover, we'll keep it raised, gonna be printed. Dr. Joyce, when they have their covers, Cheyenne and her people got, Miss Martha got their covers, so we got 5 covers coming out. Wow. We extra. We do. I said if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it big. Yeah. I don't do that small, okay? Take us out, Steve, we'll be right back. The doctors was in tonight, bro.
The doctors was in the house.
They was here. Definitely wasn't expecting. A couple of my takeaway was definitely wasn't expecting Dr. Tommy Stewart to give all that. You can just feel the passion in her. I don't know, did y'all feel it? I feel that was like, keep talking.
Everybody.
As much as I want to, yeah, as much as I want to stop and like, okay, next, I'm like, I can't.
It flowed so
Put the
beautiful.
phone-
It was beautiful. Yes.
Just listen.
Yeah, it really makes me think perhaps the time that we've set and designated may not be enough time.
Yeah, I was thinking that, guys, this is beta for us. We're working this show, we know we're supposed to do this, and we're how to say, tweak here, tweak it up. Yeah. We got to figure this out. But I think it needs to be 30-minute interviews with these people because we got there's no way we could have put the Dr. Tommy Stewart, the Dr. Joyce Lloyd Davis, the Dr. Tammy McCurry in a 1-hour interview.
Yeah,
that wouldn't work.
10 minutes each. So
I ain't gonna work, y'all, so we gotta really pray.
Yes.
Cause I've been like, they still on the show. Yes, we're still on because it was so much knowledge in the room.
It was. Amazing.
Definitely the servitude, the servant heart that Dr. Joyce had. You could feel that she just here to serve God's people. Yeah. And she do it so passionately.
I think they all had that attitude, that passion. And I think that a lot of times when people have that, they start at home. Mm-hmm. From the grandmother to the mother and passing it on through legacy. I think those are true servants. Because sometimes we can go outside the house and we can treat people well, we can treat strangers well, but it's in the house. But when you can start in your house, then you can go outside your house and live the truth.
Well,
See,
It's not hard.
too many people living in private one way and living in the public another way. But what I hear these three doctors say is that what they doing in the house, they did it in the house before they went outside the house.
that's right.
So, no, I'm just saying, a lot of times we can do something outside that we not doing inside.
That's good.
And with me hearing them, I applaud them. I got a mic in my hand, and I was told that it's rude to clap with things in your hand when you really clap for people. But we have to make sure we're doing it in the house, that our kids see a living, walking, talking example. Because we can talk the talk, but are we walking the walk?
I'll say this, how she said, walk it like you're talking about my new president. I'm sorry. Come with me and said, walk it like you're talking. But I'll say this, I felt humble. I felt humble in the room tonight. You know, I pick up on spirits. I felt gratitude in the room tonight. And I felt the spirit of persevere. Because, you know, all of them, if they would have told all their stories, they all have been through some stuff. But they never let people stop them. They never let themselves be the main lead to stop them. They have to keep persevering. And those are the type of people that deserve the presidential. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like you when you said 18. You know, you think you're 18, you can just get these awards. No. You know, I was very intentional. I went on a fast for these awards. I should go on a fast. And I told God, if it was about 3 people, I literally had to send letters and said, we don't want you. Because your attitude was jacked up. I did. You know I did. You know, but I feel like the ones that God really made it reveal themselves that they needed to be there, God sent the right people. And I'm excited about her. I'm excited about her awards.
I'm really excited. I'm over the top. You know, I don't rehearse
Yes, you are
any
over the top.
lines. I don't rehearse any lines.
You are over the top.
God just give it to
But
me
you are over the
naturally.
top. How many times you gonna change?
Well, I'm gonna keep being over the top.
How many times you gonna change on Saturday?
I said just 4. It might be just 3.
Okay.
But I'm just telling you, yes, I am excited about it. I'm passionate about it. I'm passionate about this her awards. I'm passionate about people helping people. Y'all know when I retired, they asked me what I was gonna do, and I was like, help people.
Give us some tissue.
No, you know what? I can't remember who said it. I think it was Dr. JOYCE Lord Davis. She said, if I leave tomorrow, if I'm not here tomorrow, then you know what your purpose was. You know what you was called to do. And you walked in it with passion. That's why the tears fall. Because I'm passionate about helping people.
It's about leaving that mark.
Yeah,
It's so
it
important.
really
It's
is.
never about that anymore.
At the end of the day, no school that I've gone to, no degrees that I have earned, no accolades, none of the bronze stars or any of those things I have for the military matters. Me being God's hands and feet in this earth is my biggest accolade. And that's why my spirit resonated with theirs, because I can hear it in their voice. That spirit man just, you know when somebody's doing the work and not expecting a pat on the back or any of that, knowing that God has a seat in the kingdom for them, not because of what they've done to get there, because they're doing what God has purposed them to do.
Truly
That's
walking
why
out,
the tears.
walking out their
Yeah.
purpose here.
Yeah, exactly. When people know that that's their purpose and they're walking in it, it fills me up with tears. Absolutely, hands down. I don't know how to say it.
So we're not gonna dance before we leave.
We're gonna dance before we leave.
Cry.
I'm so inspired on tonight. We just thank the ladies for showing up and
I'm gonna
dropping
give her her
those
own
videos.
tissue. She gonna say fade tissue.
Yeah,
We're gonna have to get her a towel.
FSJ.
Just get her a towel.
No, y'all laughing now, but one day y'all gonna say,
I'm crying.
no, but when you have been so close to and you.
This is smacking for me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But when you've been so close to leaving this world and seeing death, you know what it really means to give back and just to help people. Because you don't know when it's gonna be your last time.
That's true. That's true.
And that's what it is for me. That's why I do what I do. And y'all know I live by I aspire to inspire before I expire. Point blank, period. That's it.
With that being said,
We love Dr. Faye. We love you.
I love y'all too,
Yes.
but y'all know I'm just telling y'all the truth.
Yeah.
we know.
But we gonna bring you that time.
But I don't care. Y'all on your knee one at the her
Tequila, bring all that. I ain't talking no face rag, a towel.
It ain't gonna be no crying that
Come
time.
on,
Y'all gonna be
girls.
crying because y'all gonna be laughing so hard.
Oh, man, listen. I'm gonna be too cute to cry. I'm gonna be cute. Antoine making me something.
But let him make it.
Oh, really?
Child going to she.
I'm going to Sheba.
Fashion over. Alright guys, listen, this is our second show, guys. Y'all gotta bear with us. We just tweaking here, tweaking there. You know, we'll finally make it work. Listen, keep us in your prayers every day. We're pushing and striving to be a greater version of ourselves. Shout out to Takima for helping us. Let's go ahead and clap it out for her. All of the herpreneurs watching. We just excited to be here. Thank you guys for putting on through. Shout out to Shan. Shout out to Shan for doing our my makeup and Shalita makeup. Bakery, makeup chair. Glorified Cosmetic. Get your copy. I got my own lipstick now. It's called DR.TONEA. Pink. Okay. Under her. Glorified Cosmetic. And that will be coming out in April. Yeah, in August. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Get your copy of the lipstick. No extra. But anyway,
Talking about me being extra.
anything else, Shalita?
Extra. Dr. Nigga is all about it.
Yes.
Thanks so much,
We're
guys.
glad y'all for coming on the Convo show. The C, the O, the N, the V, the O.
Bye.